Hi, welcome to KillieCast. I'm joined this week as usual by
Andy Kerr, here as always.
And we're shaking things up just slightly this week due to K-Fest coming up. So I've also got
Paul Brunton.
Excellent. Chief collaborator on bus stops.
Yes.
For the festival. So it's looking good, so we'll get onto that a wee bit later on. So as I said, we're going to shift it up slightly this week. We're not going to do what's happened and what's coming up. We're still going to have a featured group at the end, but we're going to highlight the K Festival because we think that'll be decent.
Yep, it's dynamite, it's coming up very soon, and it's going to be a great weekend for all involved, so let's just get right to it.
Yeah, excellent. Right, so there's a couple of ways that we can do this. I think it's split into sort of three, from what I've read up, it's split into sort of three main sections. Section 1 is the stuff that's going on round about the town, the likes of Paul's bus stops, the Loudon Musical Society and the Celebrate Kilmarnock stuff, as well as the Kilmarnock Football Club stuff. So we'll hit that up. They've also got Section 2, which is the kind of pubs. They're all seeming to do, all the pub watch pubs, doing slightly different stuff in and over the weekend. And then section number 3, the main event, the big stage that's getting set up in the Strand with the 5 different bands. So if it's alright with you guys, I think we'll start with all the stuff that's going on round about the town.
Sure. Yeah.
So let's start with the Celebrate Kilmarnock stuff. They've got a family day coming up. It's going to be in the town centre. It's going to be for all ages, and it's trying out sports, and that's happening on the Saturday the 28th of July, obviously, for K-Fest, and that's between 12 PM and 3 PM in the town centre, as we just said. Looks great.
Really
Take the kids along. It's going to have a myriad of local groups, volunteer organisation, all kinds of sports. I think maybe some climbing and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So have you guys seen much
Yeah,
of that?
I mean, last year we were doing some performances on the Saturday, and it was just great seeing so many kids about, just having a great time.
Yeah.
They do dancing, there's music, they get a chance to go on slides and things like that, so it's just brilliant to see so many young people in Kilmarnock going about with smiles on their faces and families.
Absolutely.
So I would absolutely say to anyone thinking about coming along to come along and enjoy themselves, bring their family.
Their sort of tagline is be prepared to have fun and enjoy yourself, and from the photos from last year, and I think they're going to try and keep it pretty similar this year, it does look like it's going to be great fun. Yeah. So big up to that looks like it's going to be good. On Friday night, the Loudon Musical Society are doing I'm struggling to speak. They're doing Broadway someone else need to do this. They're doing Broadway blockbusters.
There we go.
That's the one. So that's on Friday the 27th, 7:30 PM, and that's it. Is it New Leakirk, Andy?
Yeah, New Leakirk.
New Leakirk. So that's just going to be sort of songs from all the big blockbuster shows. Joseph in the Technicolor Dreamcoat, amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, all that kind of stuff. When Paul and I first met, it was at the PB Awards.
That's
and
right.
they were looking for some funding as well, and the guys sort of showed you their performance, and it looks really good. So I think that'll be good.
LMS have got a pretty good track record of wowing audiences as well in the local area, so I'm looking forward to hear what they can do.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's free to get into as well. So
even better.
If you're looking for something to do on the Friday, then that's definitely something to do. Paul, do you want to tell us about your bus stops?
Yeah, we've got 4 bus stops round Kilmarnock on Friday the 27th and Saturday the 28th from 1 PM to 4 PM. It's a kind of little cultural tour of Kilmarnock, going really from just outside the train station down past the New Leakirk, outside BHS, and then in front of the Rock Hard Cafe. We've got 4 bus stops, and basically what we'll be doing there is having local artists like Andy and myself performing there, and it's local musicians who write their own songs. There will be a sort of combination of original songs and some covers, but I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's going to create a great atmosphere throughout the whole town.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this as well. And you're telling me that that's Friday and Saturday?
It's Friday and Saturday, so officially we'll be kicking things off
at 1
o'clock on the Friday, and we've got some really great acts playing. Actually, a lot of them come through my company, Rock and Roll Models. We go out and encourage people to do songwriting throughout Ayrshire, especially East Ayrshire. And some of the acts even I've known since primary school, which ages me, but they're now turn into really good sort of confident songwriters.
Aye.
So we've got we've got 24 slots, so that just shows you the amount of talent that there is in East Ayrshire. You'll know about that as well, then.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm never say. I'll start again. It never ceases to amaze me just how much raw, undiscovered talent there is waiting to be found by everyone in Kilmarnock and East Ayrshire and the whole of Ayrshire in general. Because when I started university in Ayr in 2009 doing commercial music at UWS, Ayr was known as a bit of a music town, and a bit Kilmarnock didn't have very much. And by the time I graduated in 2013, the tables had kind of turned a bit. Kilmarnock, through various things, had just started to get itself a kind of mini scene, which is still going, which is testament to everybody involved, everybody from the promoters to the venues to the artists themselves. So yeah, if you're really not sure what to expect, then expect very, very good things from what you go and see, what you hear, and you never know, you might just discover your new favourite artist.
Yeah, absolutely. And you've got some like decent names as well. Like
I mean, we've got obviously the biggest act is Andy performing for us.
Oh yeah.
We've got I'm a big fan of Ewan Macaulay, I think he's only 17 years old, and he's already released about 3 or 4 EPs and albums. He's really on it. He's great. Like his style of music.
I worked with Ewan back around Easter time at a different project I was doing in North Ayrshire, and the guy, he's just great. Having listened to his latest work, Worse Than Modern Pop, don't say I'm not good to you, my man, then it's really good. I'm impressed by it, and just everything he's done so far from a young man at his age is fantastic, and he's going to be good. So if you see Ewan,
do you have
your socks blown off?
Sorry, Andy, do you have the times there that Ewan will be on at?
Ewan will be on at 3 PM on the Friday, and possibly he's going to be on the Saturday as well. And
what one of the stops?
He'll be at the.
So you have to work hard when you call on here as a guest. Throw these curveballs at you.
He will actually be outside the Newley Kirk.
Perfect.
So he'll be right in the kind of the centre of where it all is.
Excellent.
Also, if you buy one of his CDs, he also sends you like a couple of wee bags of Haribos in the post as well. So I'd say that as well. We've got Jake Cox, who's he's a songwriter that I've worked with for about 4 or 5 years. Again, he's probably only about 19. Really experienced songwriter now, so he'll be great. We also have Becca Murphy, who's coming down from Glasgow. She has a Kilmarnock connection, and that's part of this. Is we're trying to make sure that we're not just bringing in people from all over. We're trying to make this really about local artists. George Suter is somebody you might not have heard of, who's an extremely talented singer-songwriter from Ayr. He's kind of mysterious, so I would go and see his stuff. He'll be playing it up near the train station on the Saturday.
Excellent. I'm looking forward to the bus stops. Again, it was the PB event that we sort of met, and that was what you were looking for the funding for. And since then, it's just I've obviously kept up to date with you. And every time I hear, I think, oh, that sounds really excellent. And you've got bus stops made up, and there's amps and
we've actually created bus stops which are kind of piece of art in themselves. They're you'll need to come along and see them, or check us out on Facebook or Twitter to see the actual bus stops. But when you see them, you'll know exactly what it is. And this is the first time this has ever been tried in Kilmarnock. You're going to have 20 acts playing through the town centre. I don't think that's ever been tried before.
No, it'd be cool. It will be cool. And we're doing some promo stuff on Friday.
Yeah,
hopefully
we'll be outside Aces and Diners on Friday morning from about 10:30, and we'll be out there playing a few songs and outside BHS as well. So if you're about, come along and see us.
Excellent, fantastic. Okay, so that sort of takes care of Friday and Saturday, and then on the Sunday for the stuff that's going on, or the other things that's going on. Oh no, I beg your pardon. We've also got Music on the Mall on the Saturday,
yes,
the 28th, and I know that Tamara down at the Burns Mall does a great job in organising that, and I think she's put on 3 or 4 different people.
One of the bands is really good, Fusion.
Yep.
Who are also going to be doing a busk stop later on in the day.
Right.
And Emily is their lead singer, and she's got a beautiful voice. She's also a very good songwriter. I think they'll mostly be doing cover versions, so
right.
Look out for them. They're a young band.
And they've got Catching Fireflies as well, and Daniel Macklin as well. Also, he'll be playing. I think there is another couple, but I'm not completely sure on the names of them. But the Music on the Mall is a great idea, and to sort of catch in with K-Fest is really going to work. I think it'll be sort of make a whole weekend of music.
Yeah.
So on the Sunday as well, organised is the Kilmarnock FC Open Day. Now Andy, we're going to you in this one because you're the Kilmarnock man.
Yes, indeed. We'll have all our usual sort of stuff. The fairground rides will be there. There will be players there as well. So if you fancy meeting some of the players, seeing some of the new signings as well, they'll be about. They'll be signing autographs as well. Also quite interesting, I saw the other day, we have the leaflet here, so we have the benefit of this, but if you haven't seen it, I think you know what I'm talking about
it's
here.
Coming.
you have Chris Boyd and Kurt Broadfoot standing, quite good poses, but somebody isolated Chris Boyd and said, what the chips see when you look at them. And it's Boyd, and fair play to him, he shared it himself and he said something along the lines of some people. So fair play to him for that. As well as that, there's other things like balloon modelling, there's stalls, there's Beat the Goalie. I don't know who the goalie's going to be. It could be Jamie McDonald, it could be Devlin Mackay, could be me. Nobody's asked me to, but it could be me. And other things as well as a chance to play on the pitch. So if you've ever wanted to grace the hallowed Rugby Park plastic, then by all means, this probably is your chance. It's on from 12pm till 5pm. And it's free entry as well, so make sure you bring plenty of money with you anyway, because you know what these things can be like.
Aye.
Especially if you've got kids who want to go in this and they want a shot of that. Aye. So,
It'd be nice to see some skillful players on the pitch that day.
Don't look at me, I'm not good at football.
Excellent. Right, so if we move on now and look at the pubs that are going to take part in the weekend, it's all the pub watch pubs sort of collaborating together to try and boost the town and try and make it better. First of all, we'll just go sort of through them in order that they appear in the programme. I think it's probably the best way to do it. The Brass and Granite, they are down on Grange Street, and they're doing country and western and folk weekend, coupled with international food highlighted for the K-Fest weekend. So I think they're going to have country and western on a Friday night and folk music on the Friday night, and then a folk band on the Saturday, and then an open mic between 12 and 4 on the Sunday.
Sounds good.
It does sound good. My good lady's into country and western music, so I think that could be where we might head on the Friday night. Just a bit different actually, because not a lot of places, a lot of places play rock music or pop music, but maybe not as many play country and western. Yeah,
other than maybe the Cowboys and Indians weekend every year at Millport, you don't really get a lot of country and western.
No. Or the Grand Ole Opry.
Oh, of course, the Opry in Glasgow. It's very few and far between these things, so I think it's quite good just to get something a wee bit more of an Americana tinge about it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the food down there is excellent, so well worth popping in. I think they're doing deals on foods and drinks and all that kind of stuff for the weekend, so that'll be pretty good. And then Rock Diner and Aces, they're in St Marnock's Place, 5 St Marnock's Place. They've got Upshot on the Friday night from 9:30, and they've got Gordon's Alive on the Saturday night from 9:30. And we were speaking to Paul and I were speaking to Barry today, and he was saying that Upshot usually do a sort of wee promo video that usually gets a right good laugh and makes a bit of fun out themselves and all the rest of it, so that should be pretty good. And I think that's sort of more rock music, if you're into your rock music.
It's definitely not country and western.
No, it's definitely not country and western. They're also doing obviously food and drink as well. They've got quite a few different harvesting beers as well. They've got a cookout going on. They've also got a good couple of pop-up bars that are going to be slightly different as well. So if you fancy just sort of checking out something that's a bit different, then Aces is probably your best bet. Again, on Friday and Saturday and Sunday as well. So I think they've got karaoke Sunday night. So are you guys allowed to do karaoke, or are you too professional?
As a former karaoke host, it haunts my dreams.
Last time I did karaoke, I broke the speakers in the place, so I'm not allowed to do it anymore.
He was doing Celine Dion.
Yeah. If I am obliged to do karaoke, then it's usually Danger High Voltage or Gay Bar by Electric Six, one of the two.
See, I'm like so unmusical that I think, I could sing that easy, and then halfway through when I haven't hit any of the notes, not even the low ones, I'm going, geez, this is actually harder than I thought.
You could end up doing an Alan Partridge singing Why the Birds Suddenly Appear, and then it turns out that they don't have it in the key you want and just leave it after about 2 lines.
Yeah, I think that's probably me. So from there we'll move to Fanny by Gaslight, under new management for the weekend. Well, I think it's probably before the weekend.
Yeah, it's been under new management for about a year now.
They've got live bands, Audio Class on the Friday night. And Andy, who have they got on the Saturday?
Saturday we've got a really, really good local band from the Irvine Valley. We've got Aboriginals. They're really, really good. I was really impressed by one of their videos that came out last year.
Right.
Good tune, good video in general. Really pleased with that. So the guys would be really, really happy to see quite a few faces down there. And on Sunday, it's going to be the usual jam session hosted by Stevie Smith and Jamie Angus from 2 p.m. until 6 p.m. It might even go on a bit later. These things sometimes can. And Fanny's has always been a music pub since it was Fanny by Gaslight in 1984. So the guys have got a good track record of bringing decent local bands in, sometimes working bands as well, and you never know who you can see in there as well, so just go in, have a good time.
Yeah, the Aboriginals are going to be doing a set for bus stops as well. They'll be outside Rock Hard Cafe on the Saturday at 2 p.m. So they'll have a busy weekend.
So people could go and see them then, and
go and see them
at Fanny's as well. Excellent. Witherspoons is also involved. They're doing a disco, and they're doing food deals, and they've got 9 hand-pulled ale pumps as well, so loads of stuff going on there. Max Bar, they're involved. They've got a quiz on the Friday night. Who doesn't like a quiz? Andy?
I like a quiz.
I like a quiz. They're also doing Play Your Card Right, which I've heard happen before, but wait, is that higher or lower?
Yes, Bruce Forsyth.
Dynamite.
Who doesn't love that?
And it's next door to Brass and Granite.
Yeah,
so that
exactly.
means I can leave Angela listening to the country and western, sneak in, play higher or lower, and then sneak back as if I was just out.
What's not to like?
It's the perfect weekend.
That's superb, what a rue. So they've got a lazy Sunday night. What have they got on the Saturday? They've got Pat Dock with his guitar on the Saturday, playing all your favourite songs. On the Sunday night they've got a lazy free jukebox night as well, so it's a nice wee bar that's well worth going in, making a trip. The first edition, they've got loads of loads of DJs and a great choice of food and drink as well. O'Shannon's, they're doing 2 courses for £8 and 3 courses for a tenner, with kids under 8 eating free. Jeez, that sounds pretty good. So if you're looking for some hot food over the weekend, to soap up some alcohol, then that's definitely a place to go. They've got drinks promos on as well, and it's an authentic Irish experience, so that sounds pretty good. And finally, but not least, in the Pub Watch group is the Crown Inn. They've got 70s and 80s karaoke, so no Celine Dion for you, Paul. Raging.
But lots of ABBA.
Lots of ABBA. Or maybe the three of us should do ABBA.
The world's worst all-male ABBA tribute. That's got a nice ring to it. I like it.
I've got a blonde wig, mate, we're laughing.
Yes, result. And I
so
also
that-
have a beard.
On Sunday they've got Tommy Adams groaning his way through the night with all his hits, or all the hits that he sings, and they're also doing special offers on selected spirits as well. So that's definitely something to check out on the Sunday night. Maybe slightly different from what I would certainly usually listen to.
I love the sound of crooners. You know, I do. I love that style of music. So that could be quite interesting.
Excellent. Right, so that sort of takes us to the end of the pub section. You'll get more information if there's any pubs that you heard that you quite fancied the sound of. Most of them are on Facebook, so you can check them out there. Or pop in and see the guys. The guys in these pubs are really nice sound people. Yep. And as I say, when they work with Pub Watch, it's to make the town better. So they're really happy to field questions and speak to people and give you more information. So that sounds good. So, final section, the Let's Change the Record stage at the Strand in Kilmarnock. Starts at 4 PM, finishes at 10:15 PM. 5 great bands, £10 for a ticket. Can't say fairer than that.
I think this is a fantastic thing for Kilmarnock. There's going to be an actual big stage there, which is a great use of that space.
Yep.
I mean, again, probably that's the first time that it's been used in that way.
Yeah.
And to have to hear live music pumping out through Kilmarnock Town Centre is going to be fantastic.
Yeah.
So we've got, as I say, 5 bands on. You guys fill this space while I talk, while I find the running order.
Well, can I talk about one of the bands that are going to be playing?
Course,
I mean, the Frontiers. I'm really, really excited about hearing the Frontiers. They remember I was saying earlier on about some of the kids that have come through rock and roll models from primary school. James Campbell plays bass. He's got massive curly hair. You won't miss him. He's from Cumnock. And one of the first songwriting sessions I did with rock and roll models, it was a summer school in Cumnock. He was there, and I remember teaching him how to play Satisfaction on the guitar, and he just seemed to love playing the guitar. Now he plays the bass and he writes songs. But the Frontiers they must all be about kind of 17 or so, and really tight band, playing really interesting music, not too obvious music. I would encourage everybody to come along and see what they might become really big band.
I mean, everything that I've heard of or heard of them is always positive. There's people saying, they're selling out here, there. They've played King Tut's up in Glasgow as well.
I think they were playing I think it was the SECC. I think
really?
they were playing there about 4 weeks ago.
Aye.
It was one of those venues up in Glasgow.
Right. So that's definitely something to pop along and see in the main stage. And for £10, do you know, you can't beat.
But you can talk about that for the rest of your life. That it's like seeing a band for the first time who go on to make it really big. So.
I saw Keane and the Magic Numbers the day that they signed their record deal. They were supporting Travis, and from that day on, every time I heard them on the radio, anyone that was standing next to him was like, "Yeah, I've seen them. See, I saw them before they signed their record deal." And people were like, "Shut up."
Are you know the guy from the Magic Numbers?
I look like it.
I know,
Right shape anyway.
the only band I can really claim to have seen like that were Morning Runner, who supported Coldplay on Live 8 Day at Bellahouston Park along with Supergrass. Supergrass were the best band of the night by a country mile.
Right.
I saw quite a few people with Supergrass tees who mysteriously disappeared as soon as they were away. But that day, I don't remember anything Morning Runner played. They were just Chris Martin's mates, but then a couple of years later, the In-Betweeners comes out. Who is it? Morning Runner. So I can say I've seen them. Probably never going to see them again.
No. But it's worth seeing once.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I can say I have, and who else can? Actually, thousands of other people. Forget about that. They don't count.
Well, you see, that's the beauty of this as well. It's not. It's a big stage. It's going to be loud music, but it's not going to be like thousands of people. It's going to be maybe 1,000 people at most. So it's going to be a nice, close, intimate gig with great acoustics because of the buildings. This is something not to miss. I think this will be, and for a tenner.
Yeah.
Do you know? So the running orders is the Straw Dogs to kick off. They're a Stiff Little Fingers tribute band.
That's a great way to start. High energy,
Aye.
and that will get people going. I think that's really crucial when these
Absolutely.
gigs. It's just getting straight in there.
Yeah,
And further to that, they do Stiff Little Fingers very proud. I've seen them a few times and they haven't disappointed, even through various lineup changes and whatnot. They've always got that raw energy about them that, like I say, does the band proud.
Aye. Sound. And then next is up as the Frontiers. They'll be on sort of 5:40, roughly 5:40. Then next up, the Penetrations. They're touring for their 40th anniversary, so there obviously must be something to them, or they wouldn't have lasted 40 years.
The penetrations will have. I've got a big audience round about this area, and I've no doubt there'll be lots of people coming out to see the Penetrations.
And I noticed someone saying the other day that they paid £16 just to see the Penetrations.
Right.
So £10 to see the Penetrations and 4 other bands.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong with that. And then it's Scaladonia. This will be my favourite, I think, of the day. A bit of ska music, a bit of madness, that kind of stuff. I love that. Absolutely adore it.
I think again, it seems to be focused on getting people to move about and have a good time. So good feel good atmosphere. So
yeah, and then to finish off the night, we've got Dirty Harry, who's a Blondie tribute act. And actually, when I saw their photo, I thought it was Debbie Harry in the photo. So they've seen a couple of videos of those guys. Very, very popular. I had a guy speak to me the other day there and say, "Oh, Debbie Harry's playing." I actually saw her. I saw them. Sorry, Dirty Harry's playing. I saw them just themselves 4 or 5 times, and they've been excellent every time. So
great.
That should be really excellent. For this, there's loads and loads of different places that you can get tickets. You can get it from any of the pubs that we mentioned before in the Pub Watch. I'll go through them again. That's Witherspoon's, Brass and Granite, Max Bar, The Crown Inn, First Edition, O'Shannon's, WG13, Fanny by Gaslight, and AC's Bar. And where else can you get them, Andy?
Symphony Annie Brothers.
See, I challenged him to say it correctly and he's absolutely smashed it out of the park.
Molto bene, sì.
Oh, hey.
Tutto bene.
He's even waving his arms about. You can also get them from the Palace Theatre box office and the Palace Theatre website, which is www.eastayrshireleisure.com, and you'll see that on their page, so you just sort of follow. And you can also phone up 01563 554 900. As I say, tickets are £10. I mean, what do you lose if you get a ticket for £10? I mean, absolutely fantastic. Dynamite, as my pal Jamie would say. So that's the Let's Change the Record stage. If you follow the guys on KFest social media, they're on @K_Fest_ on Twitter, and @KFest, I think it's with 2 T's, on Facebook, and there's constant updates. I think they're going to kind of ramp it up and do some videos and live streaming and that kind of stuff this week, just to try and push that forward. And I think they've got some ticket giveaways to do as well, so give them a follow and see what's happening.
Yep, you never know, you might just get lucky and win yourself a ticket.
Exactly.
Or 2.
Exactly. So that's us kind of covered everything that we see that's going on with K-Fest. I'm sure there'll be plenty more. There's also stalls going on round about the town as well for people to sort of sell their wares and give you information on what it is that they're doing in the town, which will be well worth it. And it's sure to be a great weekend.
I think so.
Excellent. So that takes us on to our featured group, which this week is the Samaritans. I went and spoke with the ladies down at the Samaritans last week and had a very interesting conversation about their recruitment process, they're sort of in the recruitment drive. So if you want to hear about that, then this is the place to find out about it. And we'll see you on the other side.
Well, I'm Lynn. I've been a Samaritan for 10 years. It's a really interesting thing to do. I feel as if I'm hopefully helping people out there to get an understanding of what's going on in their heads.
Like we're going to move on to recruitment in the not too distant future. I know that you're sort of wanting to try and recruit more people, but how did you get involved in the Samaritans?
Well, initially I saw an advert in the Kilmarnock Standard because that was one of the methods we used to use quite a few years ago to get recruitment, and I just answered the advert, got an application form, came along to selection, luckily got through, did the training, and that was me on the phones because it's quite an intense training programme that we do. It does take a lot of, there's like 10 modules you've got to get through before you get on the phones. So we train people really well. I mean, we've been praised by lots of different organisations for the training that we actually go through, and we get people from all walks of life, and they praise us as well when they went through the training. Some people don't make it through the training because it can throw up things about yourself that you never realised, feelings, prejudices, all sorts of things. And some people, when they're going through the training, it's kind of like, this is not what I thought it was going to be, and they sort of give it up after a short time, and that's fine, you know. And we say to people at the start, if you feel it's not for you, that's fine. Nobody's going to judge you on that, and hopefully you'll have taken away something from the time that you've spent in the training, and almost everybody does. But those who get through, a lot of them say it actually changes their own personal lives as well, because they use what they've learnt in the training in their own personal lives, and it helps them to deal with family and friends as well. Obviously we always say don't ever be a Samaritan to your own family or friends because you can't.
Of course.
You're too emotionally involved, and that's why it actually can be easier for us on the phone, because we're not emotionally involved with a caller, so we can listen to what they're saying without getting so upset about it. Obviously some callers can upset you with what they're going through, but we have to stay in control on the phone. Sometimes we're not in control after we come off the phone, depending on what we've heard. But while we're with that caller, you know, we're there supporting them, and the training really allows you to do that.
Even in terms of the person that you would be Samaritaning to, like maybe they wouldn't want to speak if it was part of your own family. Then with, you know, maybe you could be part of the problem. Absolutely.
I mean, people find it so difficult to talk about this subject to friends and family because they know, one, it's going to upset them to know that that's what they're feeling like, and the other thing is quite often family and friends will try and talk you out of it. Try and, you know, it's like, oh, don't be silly, pull yourself together, you're all right, there's nothing wrong. That doesn't help anybody at all, you know, because that just makes them feel rejected and not listened to. So it's easier for them to talk. It's a true saying, it's easier to talk to a stranger sometimes than to somebody, you know. You can open up more. And because it's totally anonymous, we don't know who you are. You can open up more and talk more about things. And the training that we get allows us to be able to help a caller to do that, because some people, they've never spoken about how they feel before and they find it quite difficult, but through our training we help them to open up and be able to feel that they can talk about the things that they've never spoken about before, the subjects that are taboo, you know. So the training's really good. I was saying before we started again that I'd gone through quite a lengthy family death in my family with my dad, and I went and spoke to a counsellor after it was all sort of finished and done with and all the rest of it. And before I went along, I'm thinking to myself, like, a counsellor, really? I don't. I tell you, an hour spent with a counsellor, like you said, someone that you just don't know, that's got no vested interest in how you come away at the end of it. My God, it was like the weight of the world lifted off my shoulders. It was amazing. I couldn't believe it.
So I can totally see where you're coming from,
That's
like
it.
just talking to a
Just the
stranger.
relief of being able to talk about it. Obviously, we can't take your problems away.
Yeah.
Your problems are still going to be the same, but by talking about them, it does take a bit of pressure
Yeah.
off you.
And you guys won't judge the person that's
No,
on the phone,
no,
which
no,
is
it's-
often what is a barrier between
Yeah,
families. You know,
exactly.
people think, oh well, I'm going through this as well, or I've done such and such, or I've done this and he's not done anything,
Yeah.
or whatever. Whereas you guys aren't doing that, so
That's
it's
it.
just
I mean,
totally open.
it's- we don't talk about ourselves on the phone at all. It's all about the caller. Because quite often, as you say, when you're talking to a friend about something, they will say, oh, that happened to me, but this is how I feel about it. And they turn it onto themselves and
Aye.
completely away from the person that was having the conversation in the first place. Whereas at Samaritans, it's all about the caller, what the caller's saying. It's what they're going through that's important, you know. And as I say, we don't bring ourselves into it at all. We're just there solely for the caller. But we are always looking for new volunteers because unfortunately there are so many voluntary organisations out there now. This sort of pool of volunteers is getting smaller and smaller. And unfortunately, obviously every year people leave for, you know, family, work situations, etc. So we're always looking for more people to fill the gaps. And obviously the more volunteers we have, the more hours we can open,
Yeah.
because we can put on new duties and things like that. So, and that makes us more available to the callers more often.
So you said that you were having a recruitment drive.
Yeah, well, we recruit. We accept applications constantly, but we actually select and train twice a year.
Right. Okay.
The selections are the end of August and the end of February, and training is beginning of September, beginning of March every year. But I mean, as I say, in the times in between, you can send an application form any time during that sort of 6 months in between. And because it's such a small branch, we can only train twice a year because obviously, again, that's something that volunteers are doing, giving their time as an extra over and above answering the phones and stuff. So it can be quite exhausting, to be honest, and to do it more than twice a year, it wouldn't be easy. But yeah, so we are always constantly looking for.
So does the training take place in the branch?
It's in the branch, yeah.
Right.
It's good now because with the new premises we've got more space. Because where we were before, it was very cramped down in Titchfield Street. It was just like a house.
Right.
So the training room was what would have been a bedroom.
Right,
you know.
okay.
And at some points we had, 10 people trying to train in this wee room and stuff. But now we've got a good big training come.
Yes, again, it's great offices, isn't
And
it?
it does allow us, if we get a lot of people applying, it allows us to obviously have the facilities to train more people. We haven't really had a big group since we've moved here. Well, that's not true. There was a group of 9
Right, okay.
when we sort of first, I think it was the first training session after we moved here. It was a big group, but we tend to find most of the time, when we were training 4, 5, 6 people at a time. But it would be great if we could get more than that, obviously. Because I say, the more people we have, the more we can do, the more we can help. So it makes a big difference.
And you said about 10 modules. I take it, do you do like a module a night or?
Yeah, I mean it starts on a Sunday. So the first Sunday it's a couple of modules, and then we train on a Thursday night after that.
Right, okay.
And it's about 3 hours.
Right.
So it can be quite exhausting for people, especially if they've been working all day.
Yeah.
So they kind of need to be prepared to give that amount of time, because it's like from 7 at night till 10 o'clock. Sometimes we manage to finish a little bit earlier if we're lucky, but you've got to be prepared to be there till the 10 o'clock. And then we finish the last 2 modules on a Sunday as well.
Right, okay.
And that's quite good, because for workers it gives them a bit of a break so that they're not constantly doing too much in the one day. And then after they're finished their training, they go on duty with a mentor.
Right, okay.
They're not sort of just flung on
Thrown
the
at the
phones
deep
on their
end.
own. They have someone there mentoring them until they then start the second phase of training,
Right, okay.
because it's not just one lot of training. After they've been on duty, maybe about 8 weeks usually, they do what we call sit 2. The first sit training is sit 1, which is Samaritan's initial training.
Right.
So then they do sit 2, and that's 4 modules, but it's spread over a few months.
Right, okay.
So it's maybe 1 module a month sort of thing. And that kind of builds on what they've previously learnt, because once they've actually done duties, they've answered the phones, they know what the real calls are like. Because during training we do skills practice where we pretend calls, which it gives them a feel for it, but until they're actually answering calls, they don't realise just what it's like. We try and give them as much help as we can beforehand, but it's never the same as the real thing. So once they've actually been answering calls, we sort of go over a lot of the stuff that we've done before, and they can contribute more. We have lots of discussions, because they talk about the type of calls they've had and how they felt about it and things like that, and we build on the training from there. And basically, then they go back on duty on their own. They don't have their mentor anymore after that, once they start sit 2. And sometimes that's a lot easier for them because you don't have somebody looking over your shoulder anymore. It's quite difficult sometimes when you know somebody's there, watching what you're doing and making sure you're doing it right. But yeah, when they get to that stage, it's very rare then that somebody would leave.
Yeah.
Sometimes people leave at the beginning of answering the phones because they're like, oh no, I can't do this. And again, that's fine. You know, we don't judge people if that's how they feel about it, because everybody's so different. It's like everything. When you've never done something, you say, oh, I can do that, no problem. When you actually do it, it's like, no, I can't do this. This is too difficult for me. Especially if you were to get a really difficult call to start with.
How do people, if they wanted to volunteer, do they come into the branch? Do they go online?
Most of it's done online now. A lot of people go through the Samaritans website and sort of give their details there, but we also have a branch email address that people can contact us on, and that is ayrshire.samaritans@hotmail.com.
Okay, perfect.
And if they email that and say they want to volunteer, we'll send out an application pack. They fill in the application form. Once we get the application form, they're invited along to the selection day.
Aye. And now's the best time to do it because selection
now,
isn't too
as I
far
say,
away.
selection's just about 6 weeks away now.
Right.
So
Perfect timing.
we always try and get all our application forms in at least a week before selection. And it's a shame because sometimes we get application forms in and it's like a week after selection. You think, oh, you've got to wait 6 months now.
Yeah.
You know, so if you know it's coming up, get your application in if you really want to do it.
So thanks very much to Lynn and Mary that spoke to me down at the Samaritans last week. The full interview, as always, will be released next Thursday. It's well worth a listen to hear what it is they do, how they do it, how they do the training, all the rest of it. It was really fascinating actually. I was quite impressed, obviously, with what it is they're doing, but quite surprised at how it all works and all the rest of it. So give it a listen next Thursday. It's well worth it. So that just kind of leaves us to wrap up this week. Thanks very much for listening. If you like what you've heard, then be sure to leave us a review on iTunes or wherever it is you get your podcasts. We also do reviews on Facebook. Also click subscribe if you want to make sure that you keep up to date with everything that we're doing. If you subscribe on YouTube, you can press the wee notification bell as well, and then they tell you when there's a new KillieCast out, and that means that you get to hear everything whilst it's still fresh.
Great.
So that's probably the best idea to do with that. Andy, if people want to get in touch with you on Twitter or Facebook, how do they do it?
On Twitter, my name is @ShandyK with a wee underscore at the end.
Why is that, Andy?
Just because it wasn't available on its own apparently, and I've no idea why. So unfortunately, we have to have that wee underscore at the end. But there we go.
Hey ho.
Absolutely.
And Paul,
If you want to find out more about the bus stops, go to Rock and Roll Models on Twitter or Facebook, and you'll just find us at Rock and Roll Models, and the roll is spelled ROLE, so it's Rock and Roll Models.
Alright. Also, there's a event on Facebook for bus stops as
There's,
well. and that.
But I think it's bus stops at KFest 2018. So yeah, look out for that as well.
That keeps people up to date with
Yes.
exactly what's going on. I'm pretty sure you'll be putting show times and whatnot.
There'll be all the show times, and also we'll be putting up videos and all the bands that are playing, all their Facebook stuff there as well. So.
Excellent. And if you want to get in contact with the podcast, we'd love to hear from you. You can do that at KillieCast on Facebook and on Twitter. So drop us a line. We love to hear from you. The guys at KFest is at K_Fest_. If you want to follow them on Twitter, it's well worth a wee follow to make sure you're up to date. But as I say, give us a subscription if you've liked what you've heard, or a wee review, and thanks very much for listening. And guys, thanks very much for being on the pod.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Cheers.
Bye. Hello there. I'm Ringo Starr. I should say, Sir Ringo Starr. I'm still not used to all this bloody carry-on yet. Anyway, there's a reason I'm here, and it's really important. And it's not for once to do with Thomas the Tank Engine. I'm here to promote K-Fest on behalf of my good friends at this podcast. We've got loads and loads of great bands. I'm really sorry I can't be at it, but they're all going to be absolutely fab. And if you don't think this is good, well, you're wrong.